Alright guys, welcome back to the Rebooking WrestleMania series. And yeah, this episode, we're in episode 4, which means we're at WrestleMania 4. And WrestleMania 4 took place March 27, 1988 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And the venue was the Boardwalk Hall. And I think it used to be called the Trump Plaza back then. So Donald Trump was in the building. And this was the WrestleMania where we had the tournament for the WWF Championship. Ted DiBiase tried to buy the WWF Championship off Andre the Giant after some crazy shenanigans where there's 2 referees. Apparently, one of them did plastic surgery. Obviously not, but like they're twin brothers. I think they're the Hebner brothers. And yeah, they counted the pin on Hogan, and Hogan had his shoulder up. So obviously the referee was paid by DiBiase, and then Andre has the shortest reign in history, I believe, or one of the shortest reigns. He hands DiBiase the belt, and yeah, and then who was the president at the time? Was it Jack Tunney? He was like, nah, we ain't having this, and let's have a tournament. So the tournament was promoted as the rematch between Hogan and Andre. And yeah, this card had a lot of matches. It was quite bloated. And in my rebooking, I'm going to change that. I believe they had, first round, quarterfinals, semifinals, and then finals. So there's a lot of tournament matches. I'm just going to stick to the quarterfinals. I'm just going to have 8 superstars in the tournament. And yeah, I think it'll be a better card. And, that's the problem with WrestleMania 4 is there's way too many matches. And these tournament matches, because there's so many of them, like, they don't really get enough time, So, and then they also missed a big match they could have booked. But I'll get to it right now. So here's the main card. We got the WrestleMania Battle Royal. Bad News Brown wins, last eliminating Bret Hart. And then we got a first round match, Ted DiBiase defeating Jim Duggan. And another first round match, we got Don Morocco defeating Dino Bravo. And we got Greg Valentine defeating Ricky Steamboat. We got Savage defeating Butch Reed. We got One Man Gang defeating Bam Bam Bigelow. And then we got Jake Roberts and Rick Rude ending in a time limit draw. So that's the first round. Then we got a match for Ultimate Warrior. He defeats Hercules. And then we got Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan ending in a double disqualification. That was a quarterfinal match. Then we got Ted DiBiase defeating Don Morocco. We got Savage defeating Valentine. And then for the Intercontinental Championship match, Brutus the Barber Beefcake defeated Honky Tonk Man, but by disqualification, so he did not win the championship. Then we got a 6-man tag match, the Islanders versus the Bulldogs and Coco Beware. Then we got Randy Savage defeating One Man Gang by disqualification. And that was a semi-finals match, I believe. Ted DiBiase did get a bye. And then we got Demolition with Mr. Fuji defeating Strike Force. I believe this is the match where... No, that was the next year, I think. I thought this was the match where Martel turned on Santana, but I think that was the next year. Then we got Savage defeating Ted DiBiase in the finals of the tournament and to become the WWF Championship. To win the WWF Championship, my fault. And then, yeah, so that's the card. Again, it had potential. It's quite a bloated card. And again, my goals for the rebooking is to limit the matches and give the tournament more meaningful matches. And that's basically it. I think I could rebook a better card, so let's get into it right now. Alright guys, let's get into it. I actually have only 10 matches on the card, and we're starting off with the WrestleMania Battle Royal. That was booked. And whoever was on the card previously in real life, that's not on my card, add them all into the match. And one of those guys would be Ultimate Warrior, who I would have win the match. And this would grant him a future Intercontinental Championship title match at SummerSlam. So winner gets a title match. I think this would be a good way to get Ultimate Warrior over. And, you know, it was a big stage and it's a dominant win, and he shows his dominance in a battle royal. You know, battle royal is a good way to get someone over. You could get a lot of eliminations and look dominant. So yeah, I have Ultimate Warrior win. And then we got the World Tag Team Championship match. We got Strike Force versus Demolition. I had the same match that was on the card. Strike Force was a good babyface team. Demolition, again, great heel team. And yeah, same match, same result. Next match, we got the Intercontinental Championship match. Honky Tonk Man versus Brutus Beefcake. Again, same match. I guess you have to have Honky retain just because, you know, what happens at SummerSlam. So the Honky Tonk Man does retain in my rebooking. Could be I don't like DQ finishes, so maybe he could cheat, like hold the ropes or hold on to the tights or something. And yeah, so same feud. Now let's get into the tournament. So those are all the non-tournament matches. Now we're getting into the tournament, and this should be fun. Quarterfinal match, Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, the rematch. I mean, they had the chance to book this match. Steamboat just had to beat Greg Valentine. We would have had the rematch from WrestleMania 3. But the way the card was, you know, there's so much matches, I don't think they would have got time. So in my rebooking, I'm cutting the fat, you know. So I'm trying to give Savage and Steamboat 15 minutes. Let's give them 15 minutes, put on a show, and Savage gets his win back. You know, it's only right. He put Steamboat over last year. Savage gets the win, and they shake hands. They end the rivalry right there. And it's also a good storytelling where Savage, he's in such a hard, tough, grueling match, back and forth match that's like, man, will he actually win the tournament? Because after that match, it looked like Savage has nothing left. So it's good storytelling, and it just makes sense for WrestleMania to have the rematch and Savage get his win back. Next quarterfinals match, we got Bam Bam Bigelow versus Andre the Giant. So I'm scrapping the Hogan Andre rematch. I mean, it was not good last year. Definitely, you know, it had the aura, had the mystique of being iconic. The next year, it didn't, and the match was not good. So I'd switch it out, have Bam Bam Bigelow versus Andre the Giant. I think this is a really cool match when you think about it. I believe in '87 Survivor Series, Andre did eliminate Bam Bam at the end. So there's a little crutch to the rivalry right there. And yeah, I think it would be a fun match. I'd have Bam Bam, you know, use this athleticism. You know, he can go on the top rope, use some aerial attacks, but at the end of the day, Andre gets the win. It'll be a fun, solid match. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, so Andre gets the win, and we got the next quarterfinals match. We got the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, versus Jake Roberts. Again, I think if you give these guys time, you know, Jake Roberts, he and Rick Rude had a 15-minute draw, which just didn't work because of how bloated the card is, and then you give this match 15 minutes. But by rebooking, you can give these quarterfinal matches time. So Ted DiBiase versus Jake Roberts. I think a crutch of this feud would be, you know, Ted DiBiase trying to buy a quarterfinal win, but Jake Roberts, you know, the way he does his promos, he could say, you know, money can't buy, you know, pride and all that, and it'll be a fun match. And Jake can use the snake to scare off the Virgil and all that, just to, you know, give DiBiase something to think about. So they have a fun match. DiBiase wins with the help of Andre the Giant, who comes back. He helps DiBiase win the match, and this could lead to a Jake and Andre feud down the line, which eventually happened next year, but I'm gonna do that feud a little earlier. So Ted DiBiase advances, and then we got the last quarterfinals match, Hulk Hogan versus Rick Rude. I think this would be a great match as well, you know. Again, like I said in my rebooking, all these tournament matches are getting time, you know, and this would be a solid match. Hogan and Rude, I don't think they ever had a pay-per-view match. So yeah, it'll be a good match. Again, Rick Rude's he's very athletic, but he's also strong and powerful, just like Hogan. And yeah, Hogan gets the clean win after a hard-fought match. And now we're into the semifinals. Here we go. Hogan versus DiBiase. I'd have DiBiase go over, surprisingly, with the help of Andre. No DQ, no count-out finish, but I have DiBiase actually get the pin on Hogan with the help of Andre. And yeah, it'll be DiBiase's plan is working all along. And then we got the semifinals match, Savage versus Andre. And I'd have, Savage make great comebacks, but Andre, he keeps cutting him off. And at the end, when Andre looks like he has it won, Andre grabs like a chair or something and he hits Savage. So he injures Savage and Savage is hurt for the finals. So this, again, great sympathy. Also, I'm trying to be like realistic. Like, I can't really see Savage beating Andre cleanly. So it kind of hits two birds with one stone, where Andre still looks dominant, but it's also part of DiBiase's plan to get Savage hurt, and then also it gives more sympathy for Savage going into the main event. Main event, the same final, Savage versus DiBiase. You can give them more time, and yeah, same finish where this time Hogan hits DiBiase with the chair. Savage hits the elbow, 1, 2, 3. And that's where the Mega Powers are formed. That's where Randy Savage finally becomes a WWF champion. So that's my card, guys. Let me know what you guys think about it. Would you guys keep the tournament? I just kept it because, I thought it was a cool storyline going into WrestleMania. So once again, I'll go over my card. We got the WrestleMania Battle Royal. I have Ultimate Warrior win that. We got the World Tag Team Championship match. We got Strike Force versus Demolition. I have Demolition go over. Then we got the Intercontinental Championship match. Honky Tonk Man retained, defeating Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And then we got the WWF Champion Tournament Quarterfinals. Randy Savage gets his win back on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Then we got Bam Bam Bigelow losing to Andre the Giant. Then we got Ted DiBiase defeating Jake the Snake Roberts. And then the last quarterfinals match, the Immortal Hulk Hogan defeats Ravishing Rick Rude. And then in the semifinals, the $1 Million Man defeats Hulk Hogan. And Randy Savage defeats Andre the Giant by disqualification. And in the finals, Randy Savage defeats Ted DiBiase to become the new WWF champion. Oh yeah!